Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zheng. January 20th was described by some media as a day of history, a day of hope. It is indeed a day of history, but is it a day of hope? Maybe different people will have different answers. On this day, Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States under unprecedented tight security control, while the 25th President Donald Trump left the White House with a departing message. We will be back in some form, giving people a lot of room for imagination. What did he mean by that? What kind of legacy has Trump left behind? What will America face in the post-Trump era? And what should we the people do? Today, I'd like to discuss these issues. First of all, what did Trump mean by "we will be back in some form"? Let's watch what he said before this sentence.
I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better.
Then he said that he wished the new administration good luck and great success. He said the new administration should be doing great because he had laid a very good foundation. Then he said this. Let's play the second clip.
Just a goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form.
So my understanding is he was saying that he wouldn't stop fighting for America and its people. He would be watching closely what is happening in this country. Then, in what form will he be back? Wall Street Journal reports that, quote, Trump has discussed starting a new political party called the Patriot Party. The report says that, quote, Mr. Trump discussed the matter with several aides and other people close to him, and that it's unclear how serious Mr. Trump is about starting a new party, which would require significant investment of time and resources. The president has a large base of supporters, some of whom were not deeply involved in Republican politics prior to Mr. Trump's 2016 campaign, unquote. So, starting a new political party is one of the possibilities. My own guess is that if he does go ahead with this, he should be able to attract a lot of supporters into joining his new party, including many current GOP members. Some even say that half of the GOP members can switch to this new party, and the impact on both GOP and the Democratic Party will be huge. The negative side of this is if Trump does set up a new party, this new party and the current GOP could be both weaker and smaller than the Democratic Party, and this will give the Democratic Party a lot of advantages. So, from this point, we know that starting a new party will not be an easy choice. Apart from this, Trump also talked about starting his own media and social media platform on January 8th. Let's show the image of the tweet he sent with his official presidential account after his personal account was permanently suspended by Twitter. This tweet was soon deleted too. Also, because Trump said we will be back, it is also possible that his family members and previous team members will be running for some kind of positions with his endorsement and full support, or he could also consider running again in 2024. Apart from this, I believe there is a lot that Trump can do, as he had a lot of past experiences and connections in many different areas. It all depends on which direction he wants to go. Now, let's talk about Trump's legacy. Many people have already summarized his achievements in many areas such as economy, military, foreign policies, national security, etc. So I won't repeat those. I just want to talk about some of my own observations. I think Trump's most important legacy is to have applied the brake to a trend that had been going on for decades without many people realizing it. What trend? It is the decades of silent invasion and infiltration of communism and globalism into the free world. The long march through the institutions was so successful that almost all the sectors of the societies were either totally controlled or heavily influenced by that force, or people who identify with those ideologies. These sectors, including politics, economy, arts and culture, education, ideology, media, social media, science and technology, NGO, global organizations and movements, churches and religions, legal systems, families, etc. I do remember that everyone take a read of the book How the Spectre of Communism is Ruling Our World. It is available on the Epoch Times website. You can also download the audiobook and listen to it. This book discusses in a systematic way about how the spectre of communism has gained control in all sectors of our society little by little in the past several decades. I think many people had already felt things were terribly wrong with our society. Our jobs were lost, factories were closed, everything we could buy here was made in China. We couldn't say Merry Christmas. While children are not allowed to vote until they are 18, they can choose to change their sex if they want, and the parents don't have a say in this. Hollywood movies and NBA stars can curse and attack the US as badly as they like, but are reluctant to criticize the CCP or could be fired if they do, so far and so forth. We knew something was wrong but didn't know what it was, or even if some people did know what was wrong, they either dared not say it or couldn't find a channel to express it. But Donald Trump changed all this. He openly challenged the political correctness loud and square. He put a brake on the trend by his America First and Make America Great Again agenda. He might not have some kind of complex theory or philosophy, but his common sense and instinct led him to say and to do what he did. Because he said it, more and more people started to see it, think and talk about it. So this has put a sudden brake on the trend that has been going on for decades. And because of many of his policies, he successfully stopped and reversed some of the tides. Another important legacy of Trump is that he has exposed the CCP and totally changed America's narrative of the CCP. Before he came into office, the mainstream China narrative in Washington, D.C. was that we should be nice to China, we should embrace China, we should help China to develop its economy first. Then China's middle class would automatically choose democracy and our way of living, etc. Donald Trump was the first one who said, wait a minute, we were not having a fair deal here. We had been taken too much advantage of. We should have a fair and reciprocal relationship, etc. Gradually, the narrative changed. China, or the CCP, was no longer regarded as a partner, but as a rival or even as an enemy. With many of Trump administration's efforts in exposing CCP's bad and immoral practices, such as IP theft, espionage, forced technology transfer, etc., more and more people started to realize how badly the CCP's damage was, how evil the CCP's nature really is, especially after the global infection of the COVID-19 pandemic. CCP lied, people die has become a popular hashtag on social media. Furthermore, Trump's trade war and other sanctions on the CCP, such as stop selling chips to Huawei and ZTE, let people realize that the CCP was the real paper tiger. Without the US technology or market, the CCP's China dream turned out to be only a dream. People say that the CCP was already half dead because of Trump's trade war and other sanctions. The CCP knows it very well too. That's why the CCP was so happy that Trump was finally driven out of the White House. I think the third legacy of Trump is that he really exposed the Washington swamp. That's why people in the swamp hate him so much. He broke the status quo, the established order and situation in which the establishment of the two parties take turns to govern, to reap and to divide the benefits, and that's why he couldn't be tolerated by those corrupt politicians. Although it seems, at least for now, he failed to drain the swamp as he vowed he would, because the swamp seemed to be deeper and more powerful than him, he nevertheless exposed the swamp, something nobody had done like him before. Even after he supposedly lost the election, because of his insistence, he's not giving up. People got to see how the mainstream media, big tech, big companies, state governments, state legislators, judges, Department of Justice, and Congress, etc., behaved themselves. Everyone, every sector was offered an opportunity for the people, and also perhaps God, to see clearly how everyone thought and behaved and what they choose to defend. There's a Chinese saying that 不以成败论英雄, which means you cannot judge whether somebody is a hero by whether he succeeds or not. I think this saying or this philosophy also applies to Trump. Also, he seemed to have lost this battle on the surface for now. He will be remembered by history and by many people as a hero. In this sense, maybe it is not that important to discuss whether his leaving the White House is the beginning or the end of his legacy. He has fought his good fight and hard enough, and that's all that matters in a sense. Well, I'm afraid that I've already talked for too long today, so I will talk about what Trump could have done better and what we the people should do in the future in my next episode. By the way, today I saw the shocking news that YouTube has demonetized the entire channel of several popular Chinese-speaking YouTubers who keep exposing the corruption and speaking the truth. They all happen to be my friends too. I don't know how far YouTube will go to suppress free speech, so please make sure you subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, like them, and leave your comments to give them a boost. Also, I have put the information of my social media platforms in the description window under this video. Please check them out and make sure you follow one of them to get more information and news updates I post almost every day. Thank you. See you next time.